Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Glitched Out Gaming Podcast, your sometimes weekly podcast for all things gaming related. Joining me this week, as you can hear by the maniacal laughter, it's Israel Pacheco.
Damn right. I'm not even gonna try to do any wrestling things because I'm just happy to be back, and I'm way too energized this week. I had a frappe, and like I don't drink coffee, so I'm about to go ham over here. My energy's so infectious that I got Lord X choking up.
So how are you doing this week, man? Like, aside from being hyper on coffee.
Yeah, besides that, played a lot of games because it's been a while since our last recording, because the last episode was with Big Boss, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep.
Which was last week's episode, and I think we missed the week before that, or I don't remember exactly the timing, but it's been a while.
I think September 5th. Yeah, that was our last episode together.
Yeah. So it's been a while. Been a lot of gaming, a lot of good stuff going on behind the scenes. So
yep,
some good stuff.
And well, speaking of playing games and whatnot, we're going to kick off this podcast like we kick off every podcast, and that's talk about what we've been playing this past week. So, Izzy, why don't you tell us what have you been playing since our last recording?
Ooh, I wasn't expecting this. I pulled the wrong list up because
I do this every podcast.
I thought we were gonna jump into the games of October. Anyway, because I had them written down, I guess. Okay, the first thing that comes to mind, which I put about 2.5 hours into, is Super Mario Maker, which came out in between the last recording and this recording, and it's mixed emotions that I have about this. I was really excited going into this, and I think the tool set and the connectivity, how everybody's sharing their levels online, the community that are building around this is really cool. The only issues that I do have with it is the levels that are actually packed in the game, which are created by Nintendo themselves. There's 68 levels, I believe. I've completed 60 of them. 4 that I haven't are from the Nintendo World Championships, either 3 or 4. And then the rest, I guess, you unlock after you do the World Championship levels, which are hard as hell, which I haven't beaten. But they were very short, and I thought they were going to be more dynamic and diverse than they were. It was just more like a taste. I guess it was my expectations going into this game, especially how the game is structured. You're only on one life. There's not multiple checkpoints. There's not even one checkpoint, to be honest. So it's a very fast-paced and bite-sized experience. So maybe my expectations going into this were not realistic. But it's not bad per se. It's just I'm a little underwhelmed. But I haven't gone like you have and tried out all these community-created levels, which I heard are fantastic. And right before the recording of this, you sent me a few videos of some insane levels that people have made.
Yeah, it puts Kaizo Mario to shame.
It is ridiculous. Like, I don't know how they're pulling this off. I was watching that last video you sent me, and I was like, this guy, how's he doing this? This is all fake. It's all CG. It's all Michael Bay. But yeah, it's a cool game. I guess just my expectations going into it weren't as realistic as they should have been.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So yeah, that's one of the games I've been playing. I guess I'll kick it over to you to see what other stuff you have been playing.
Well,
I guess
I'll kick it off the same way. I've been playing Super Mario Maker.
Oh, I just saw your play count on this.
Yeah, where Izzy has played 2 hours, I have put in 13 and a half so far.
Wow. It's crazy because we talked about this off the show, like how we've like switched roles. Like I was really excited about this, I know you were excited for it, but I don't think like I was going crazy for this for a while.
Yeah,
Um,
my expectations were really, really, really low for the game.
yeah,
But my God, it has become easily one of my favorite games this year, I think. Like
really,
it surprised the hell out of me.
that's pretty cool.
Um, because going with other creation games like Little Big Planet, I was kind of expecting the same kind of deal with it, but I've enjoyed Mario Maker a lot more, especially when it comes to creating levels. I wasn't expecting to dive into the creation set like I have been, but
Hmm.
it's just so fun and so easy to make levels. And I know a lot of people hate the whole unlock system where it takes 9 days to unlock everything, but
Which they did patch, and
they
now
did.
it takes less time, but it's
Hmm.
still not clear how
Yeah.
much time, to be honest.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like that, yourself included, right?
yeah,
But
that that's kind of one of the
mhm.
disappointments, I should say, for me. But like you were telling me before, like it's cool because you feel like you're learning things bit by
Mhm.
bit instead of like other games like Little Big Planet where it's just like go,
Yeah,
everything is there, you feel overwhelmed.
exactly. It gives you a chance to learn the tool set and just build upon it as you go. And yeah, I've really appreciated that about the game, and I think Nintendo was smart to do the whole unlocking bit by bit over days because as I've been like creating now, I've started getting excited about what's to come. Tomorrow I'm unlocking the Super Mario World editor,
Nice.
so I'm really, really looking forward to diving into that one. Uh, yeah, the game's so much fun, and the create. I haven't dived into the Nintendo levels like you have. I've tasted them a little bit, and
Hmm.
from what I've seen so far, it's just kind of giving you ideas of what to put in your own levels instead of like being fully fleshed out levels themselves.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely what it is. Yep.
Uh, but yeah, the community levels are awesome, so good. And if you follow me on Twitter, folks, I've posted up a few. You can go try.
Hmm.
They're not the best from what you've seen from other people, but they're slowly getting better.
I'm gonna try that out actually. Yeah. I want to see. Because I know the way they're doing it is like it's sort of like the friend code system where you
Mm-hmm.
just put out certain digits,
Yep.
which could be better, but it's Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, that's the first one from me. Uh, I guess I'll mention another one, different one, because just to keep things a little
Yeah.
varied. Uh, I played more Kung Fury Street Rage on the PlayStation 4.
It's
I
still, I can't believe you're still playing that. Like, I'm really shocked. Like, this game that you spent a few dollars on and was kind of, it came out of nowhere because I hadn't heard about this game until I heard about the viral film that came out, right?
yeah,
And then they did this, so
yeah.
that's really interesting.
Though I have not played in about, I don't know, 5, 6 days now because I have officially announced my retirement from the game. I have gotten all the trophies into it, including the one to get a 200 combo, kill 200 enemies without getting hit or without missing one. That was brutal, but I have
Really.
I have 100% trophy completion in that game now, and my final high score in that game is now 642,660.
Jeez, man, you really,
And
really, really got into that game.
oh yeah, oh yeah. And every now and then I kind of feel the urge to go back to it, but I'm like, no, I'm done. I have proven myself in that game. I can move on now.
Would you say it's gonna end up on your games of the year list?
Well, I've been considering this year of doing a top 15 just because it's 2015.
Hmm.
Uh, and yeah, I might include it as number 15 or 14 to be honest with you. I think it's going to be there just because of how much time I put into it, how much gameplay I got worth for my money into that. So yeah, yeah, I think it's got a definite shot.
Pretty sweet, pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm. So back to you. What's another thing you've been playing?
So another one that I've been playing is one that I'm surprised I didn't play sooner, and I got it for super cheap on one of the Humble Bundle sales that they were doing. They did a redo of their summer sale,
Mm-hmm.
which I missed, and I picked this game up for like $2 or something. And
Nice.
that is the Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures, which I put 41 minutes into it, so not very much time.
Mm-hmm.
It was really just me and my little brother handing the controller back and forth between each other because the game's pretty damn hard. But I had introduced him to the Angry Video Game Nerd character recently, so we watch some of his videos now every now and then and go back and watch the old episodes. So I bought this game. He's like, "Oh, you got this?" So he immediately wanted to play it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so over the top. It's so perfect. Like the names of the levels.
Right.
Assholevania. Like really, it was so funny, so over the top. Like we watched the episode where he played his own game, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, let me pick that up. So I picked it up, and it's really good. Like it's hard, it's difficult,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really well made. Like it's not some just cash in on the Angry Video Game Nerd license. It's really well made. Looking forward to playing more of this game little by little and dying over and over. But everything's so perfect. All the quotes that you see in between the death scenes and then when you finally die. And all the little things like the nerd flicking you off if you're just standing there for too long. It's just so perfect. Like it's so funny. Highly, highly recommend it. I'll probably pick it up on the Wii U also.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be able to record some footage off of that. But it's super, super fun.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Mm. I can't believe it took me this long to play it, to be honest.
Right on. Well, the final thing on my list this week, simply because I haven't been playing a whole lot, is Danganronpa, another episode. Goodbye Despair Girls on the Vita.
Danganronpa. You gotta
uh,
you gotta say it every time.
yep,
Every
you
time.
really do. uh, I was a little worried that this game was straying away from the visual novel format for the third-person shooter aspect, but
Hmm.
holy god, this game is Danganronpa in its fullest. The story is so good. So very good. I mean, I'm only in chapter 3 right now, but there have been some epic, like, storytelling moments here, connecting the first game, uh, just pure emotional moments, pure moments where you just shiver at the fact that they're covering these types of topics. Like, I don't want to go into anything to spoil the game for people, but your main enemy in the game this time around, as of I know it, right now at Chapter 3, who knows, there might be something else going on later on. It's Danganronpa, so twists and turns all about. But your main enemies in this game are 5 children who call themselves the Warriors of Hope. And basically, they're using Monokumas to kill all of the adults in this city so that they can create a paradise for children by children. So as you're going around the city trying to survive, you're seeing like piles of bodies, blood everywhere. The imagery is gruesome, to say the very least. And it's gone to some dark places, even for a Danganronpa game.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's good, and it controls well. I'm really enjoying this game, and if there's one thing that can probably beat out Bloodborne, Batman, and probably Fallout 4 for me for Game of the Year, it's going to be this one.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering how you were gonna react to it, since I saw, like you said, the footage of it, and it's different to
Hmm.
the other ones with the third person
Yeah.
shooting aspects. So
Yeah, the
it's really
gameplay.
interesting.
Yeah, the gameplay is totally different, but the main thing is that the story and the quality of story is still there and feels like that universe. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's just as good so far as the previous two titles. And you're
That's great to hear.
hmm yep. Yeah, and that pretty much does it for me this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because you had the week before
Yeah.
to talk with Big Boss about what you played.
Yeah, and Danganronpa has been hooking me, so yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. Next game on my list that I put 6 hours into, I should say, but it's really four because I restarted the game.
hmm
That is Mad Max. I'm playing this on the PC. I got it back when it came out. I believe I've spoken about it before on the podcast. I think the last episode we did.
I think so.
Um, and I had put it down since then because I was going to focus on the next game I'll be talking about. But damn that, because I ended up picking up Fury Road on Blu-ray, and then after that, I was like, I really want to play the game now after watching the movie. So I re-downloaded it, reinstalled it, and I've put 4 hours into it
Nice.
so far, and it's a good game. Like I could see now why reviewers might have been so harsh on it,
hmm
that it is repetitive. There are some weird things like the platforming is kind of strange. Some areas that you think you should be able to get over, you can't unless there's like a ladder there. Some strange things like you get more damage from punches than you do when a car rams into you, which makes
What?
no sense. Yes, this made I like it was crazy. Like this moment I got out of my car, I was getting some scraps, scavenging for scraps, which is like the currency in the game.
hmm
And then this group of cars just showed up, and one tried to run me over and hit me, but I didn't die. Then another one hit me and I didn't die. I was like, what? So yeah, punches uh, give you more damage than getting hit by the car. So it's really strange. But besides that, the world looks gorgeous. Like I think you should get a lot of credit for like putting so much emphasis on the world, like of Mad Max and the sand coming off the tires. The explosions sound great. They look great. Harpooning like different vehicles and ripping people out of their cars and then shooting the gas tanks in the back of the car and bumping into people and getting them off the road. Like there's some really, really cool mechanics in this game. I could see where they, like Lauren Baumgarten says on Outlaw Gamer Radio, the Ubification. Yeah, this is definitely like a Far Cry Assassin's Creed where there's so much on a map, and I'm only in the first area, and every time I look on the map, I'm overwhelmed, which is crazy.
hmm
But it's a good, solid game.
That's
I'm
good.
not going to say it's fantastic because I haven't put too much time into it. What I have played has been quite good, but it isn't an abysmal game. And for someone who's played a bunch of crappy movie tie-in games over the years, like I
hmm
think people's expectations have been lifted to like a new high, especially after the Batman games over the
Yeah.
last few years. That like if we would have got this Mad Max game, say last generation, like early on in the generation, everybody would be raving about it.
Oh yeah.
But since now the expectations are so high with Batman and other licensed properties, I think it's getting a bad rap for that. And it wasn't smart for them to release it alongside Metal Gear. It really wasn't.
No.
They really should have released it in early August and have at least a month in between. I don't know why they didn't do that. Like, I think the game was done. It probably was just polishing up.
hmm
Um, so I don't know why. I know the same day they did it because of the Blu-ray release, because the same day the game came out, Fury Road came out on Blu-ray and DVD.
hmm
It makes sense in terms of cross-promotion and all that, but they really should have just released the game before Metal Gear.
It really should have.
But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely try out this game. Don't be put off by the bad reviews. Maybe wait on a sale. A price drop I'm sure is going to happen, especially after some of the reviews just just crapped all over this game, which is, people's opinion, but my opinion, it's that it's a good, solid game. Um, but now let's get into like an amazing game, which is Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. So far, I've put in 16 and a half hours into it.
Mm-hmm.
And by this time in other Metal Gear games, you would most likely be done with them, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Since most of them are like 10 to 15 hours, the mainline Metal Gear series games, Metal Gear Solid. But man, like this game is also very repetitive, but there's so many options and so many ways to tackle the missions, and you constantly feel like you're progressing because you're always getting new unlocks, you're building your mother base, you're getting new recruits using the Fulton system, which is crazy. I'm still like in the first part of the game. What am I like? I just want to say the first part of the game because I don't want to spoil what happens next. But I'm definitely over like 10 missions, somewhere between 10 and 15 missions of the mainline missions, and I've done like 10 or 15 of the side missions. So far, I haven't hopped into the second section of the game yet because I'm trying to do a bunch of side missions. And this game works really well in that it's not so story-centric as opposed to the other Metal Gear games that you could piecemeal it on a daily basis. Like, I'll just hop on maybe 30 minutes to an hour at night, and I'll just do a side mission or two, maybe one of the main missions, and I feel like I got something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if it was like Metal Gear Solid 4, I would like to sit down and just experience the whole thing because it's one whole story, right?
Yeah.
This is more like a television structure in that each mission is its own episode. And I think that was really smart for Kojima to really, make this game that way. It's really smart. There's a lot of brilliant things about how this game is structured. I really like the whole tape mechanic where you pick up tapes, and then if you're doing a mission, riding your horse, you can listen back to the tapes, or you can listen back to them on your chopper. You could find 80s music, which I have the Final Countdown song as like
nice.
my helicopter pickup song, which I'm gonna change to Rebel Yell by Billy Idol soon. Next time I hop into the game because I just found that cassette. It's so smart. It's so over the top. It's so Metal Gear, yet it's so different. It feels so refreshing to have a game like this come around. To be honest, it's exceeded my expectations because I was really worried about this game, especially after all the stuff that we heard about with Konami and Kojima, everything
Mm-hmm.
that's gone on. I've heard there's some issues towards the end of the game in terms of how the story ends, and it looks like Kojima didn't get to really complete the game how he wanted to complete it,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. But what I've played so far is so great, and I'm loving just piecemeal in the game. Maybe play an hour, half an hour every day or every other day, and I feel like I get something out of it. And I go into work, and my buddies are playing it there too. So we'll be like, "Oh, what you did? Did you did this mission yet? Did you unlock Quiet? Did you unlock the D-Dog? How did you tackle this mission? What crazy things happened?" So it's really cool to have that dialogue, which I don't usually have like at work with others because two of my coworkers are playing the game themselves also, and it's just so awesome. And I'm gonna really take my time with this game. I'm not gonna rush it, which I know a lot of reviewers had to rush through the game,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna enjoy my time with it and really 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 savor the experience. Because to be honest, this is gonna be the last true Metal Gear game
Mm-hmm.
ever, ever,
Uh,
because we'll get into that later, but
yeah.
in terms of Kojima having his hands in it and stamp on it,
Mm-hmm.
this is the last one. We're done after this. And this is a very, very special game. Um, it's high up there, very high up there for my Game of the Year list.
Nice.
Right now, I think it's number one, to be
Wow.
honest. It's surpassed Batman. It's surpassed The Witcher because unfortunately The Witcher was massive also, and I probably put like 16 to 20 hours into it, but it was just so massive, so dense, which in The Witcher I felt like I had to keep playing because there was so much story, where this, just works perfect because I get as much story as I want listening to the cassettes. I don't feel like I'm missing anything, I'm forgetting anything, because the tapes are always there. So I could always go back and listen to things and refresh my mind on a dialogue between the boss and Ocelot, or any of the other characters. It's just so well designed. Like it's number one right now as my game of the year. Going into the end of the year, the only things that might top it, possibly Tomb Raider, Halo 5, maybe. I doubt it. Uncharted Collection would be number one, but that's cheating because that's a re-release. But anyway, let's wrap this up. I went way too long in terms of the games I've been playing, but yeah, it's amazing, to be honest.
That's awesome to hear, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so with that, let's talk about some more games because it is time to hit into our favorite segment, and that is the Games of the Month. And of course, we are doing October because this is the last podcast that'll be out before the month of October.
Yep.
All right, so let's kick things off with October 2nd. We have... What don't you tell us what we have, Izzy? I'll let you take the lower days.
Okay, I'll take those days. So, October 2nd, we have Lords. What in the hell am I saying? Botchamania. October 2nd, we have Lost Horizon 2, which is coming to PC, Windows. I haven't heard anything about this game, so keep it moving.
I haven't either. All right, so October the 6th. The first big day of the month, we have Read-Only Memories coming out for Windows, Mac, and Linux. We have, oh dear fucking god, Dingai Bunko Fighting Climax for the PS3 and PlayStation Vita.
I love these games.
Disgaea 5, Allegiance of Vengeance for the PlayStation 4. Elite Dangerous for the Xbox One. Rock Band 4 for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Transformers Devastation for Windows, PS4, PS3, Xbox One, and Xbox 360. And I'm botching now too. Jesus, it's infectious. We have Prison Architect coming out of early access on Windows, Mac, and Linux. Everybody go buy Disgaea 5.
Yep. I'm surprised Transformers is coming out that quick, to be honest. I
forgot about that game.
I forgot, to be honest. Anyway, moving on to the best day of the year ever. October 9th. We're getting Chibi Robo, yes!
And it comes with an amiibo. Woo!
Oh, it does. That's pretty cool. Chibi Robo Zip Lash for the 3DS. Pretty cool. I've never played any Chibi Robo games, but...
This one kind of looks like Castlevania from what I remember.
Really? Yeah. That's interesting. And the game of the year, Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection. It's a PlayStation 4, of course. Uncharted 1 through 3, 1080p, 60 frames a second, all that good stuff. Buy now.
Okay, Sid Schumann.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll probably buy Uncharted later on. Definitely not spending. It's $80 for 3 games.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, eventually. Though I have to say that Chibi Robo amiibo does look tempting, but no,
check this out.
No, I will avoid. Right. Let's move on to.
That's really nice.
Moving on to the 13th of October, we have Dragon Quest Heroes, The World Trees Woe, and the Bright Below for PS4. God damn it, I should have did it the other way around, giving you these. Minecraft Story Mode, Episode 1, The Order of the Stone, releasing on Windows, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, and the Xbox One. The Talos Principle Deluxe Edition, releasing on PlayStation 4. Wasteland 2 Director's Cut, releasing on Windows, Mac, Linux, PS4, and Xbox One. And Corpse Party Blood Drive, releasing for the PlayStation Vita.
Nice.
And just going with the 15th, Minecraft Story Mode's releasing for iOS and Android then.
Isn't it coming out on Wii U also, right?
Yep, Wii U and the Vita, but no word on either of those yet.
Huh. That's interesting. So, moving on, speaking of the Wii U, on October 16th, we are getting Yoshi's Woolly World, which has been out in Europe and Japan for a while now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So yeah, and I guess I'll read the next batch of games also.
Sure.
For the 20th, Dragon Ball Z Extreme Butoden for the 3DS. I'm guessing this is some sort of Dragon Ball fighting game, if I'm not mistaken.
Most likely.
The Dead Rises Again. Guitar Hero is back. Guitar Hero Live. PS4, PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Wii U. Life is Strange Episode 5. Polarized.
Woo!
I guess that's the title. It's coming to Windows, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One. Tales of Systeria, PS3, PS4, and Windows. That's surprising. I didn't know it was coming to PC. Next one here is Sword Coast Legends, Windows, Mac, and Linux. Not familiar with that game.
Yeah, me neither. Oh, that's a big day for me. Life is Strange, the final episode of that. Tales of Zestria. Oh, can't wait. Another Tales game I probably won't finish. Okay, so moving on to the 22nd. We have yet another Wii U game. Jesus, what Twilight Zone have we entered into? It's Fatal Frame, Maiden of Black Water, getting its, I believe, digital-only release here in North America. And on the 23rd, we have Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Oi, Gapta, releasing on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes on the 3DS.
Yeah, that's coming out pretty soon.
Yep.
All right, so on the 27th, we have the highly anticipated Halo 5 Guardians coming out on the Xbox One exclusive, an actual exclusive, not this time BS, but talk about that later. And WWE 2K16 on PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One. No, that's redacted. They can't say brother. They can say, oh, hell yeah, because it's the Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's the cover star, which I just saw the new trailer, and it got me hyped as hell. I'm not going to lie. And then the to-be-announced games, Cobalt, it's coming to Windows, Xbox 360, Xbox One. Playmation to be announced. Earthlock Festival of Magic, Windows, Mac, Linux, Wii U. Whoa. PS4, Xbox One. Friday the 13th? I hadn't heard about this. Is this some sort of mobile game? PC game?
I think it's releasing on a few things. They just haven't said what yet.
Okay, that's interesting. I hadn't heard about this at all. Just Dance 2016, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Wii U. WRC 5, Windows, PS3, PS4, PS Vita, Xbox 360, Xbox One. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised here. Just Dance 2016. No Wii release.
Finally. Because they've been still making those till last year. Jeez.
Yep. So yeah, that is the month of October. Holy fuck.
There's a lot of good stuff. For me, of course, already talked about Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, which looks fantastic. Oh my god, it's 2 weeks away. Keep it in your pants. But I'm surprised Dragon Quest Heroes is coming out that soon. I know it's been out in Japan for a while, but I didn't realize it was this fall that we were getting it. Not personally interested, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Halo 5. To be honest, I'm not that excited for it, but it is a Halo game. I'm a fan of the Halo series. I already got it pre-ordered, ready to preload whenever that happens. WWE 2K16, I just pre-ordered that yesterday. which I said I wasn't, but then I did. So those are the games for me. I am interested in Fatal Frame, Maiden of the Blackwater, but it's just coming out at the wrong time.
Yeah.
If it would have came out early August, July, June, I would have been. That would have. Why didn't they do that? This game's been out in Japan for a while, unless the localization took this long to release. But it's just not smart.
Probably. Maybe they wanted to get it as close to Halloween as possible.
That makes sense, and I'm definitely interested after you sent me that screenshot. But
yeah.
we'll keep that between me and you. Yeah. So, what are you excited about this month?
Oh, October is all about Japan for me because it's Disgaea 5 and Tales of Zestria. I've got both of those pre-ordered. With Zestria, I have the collector's edition coming my way. So
PS4, I'm guessing?
Yep.
Okay.
Of course.
Yep.
Other than that, yeah, I am interested in the Nathan Drake collection, but it is something I can wait on to get.
Yeah.
I'll probably be picking up Minecraft Story Mode because it's TellTale, it's Minecraft, it's probably going to be another easy platinum. Other than that, Corpse Party, I'm keeping my eye on that one, as well as the Talos Principle and Wasteland 2, and Dragon... Everything on the 13th. What can I fucking say? That day, it's like, I want all fucking 5 of these games. Yeah, there's just so much this month. Like yourself, I'm kind of interested in Fatal Frame, but again, it's something I can easily wait on to, especially since it is a digital-only release.
It's going to be the same price, too, for a while, because it's digital, so...
And it's a Nintendo game, so it's...
And you won't have to worry that it'll be out of print either, because it's digital, you know?
Fair enough, yeah. And WWE 2K16 I've got my eye on, but unlike yourself, I'm waiting for reviews on it this year after kind of getting burned last year on that game.
Yeah, I didn't finish last year's game. I never even tried the NXT mode, to be honest. I played some of the, what was it, Showcase, right? What they called it? A little bit of the, like, CM Punk and John Cena feud. Mm-hmm. I actually bought the season pass, too, and I didn't even stop doing that. I keep buying season passes for games and ending up being disappointed or just not playing it or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, but this one I'm interested. I didn't buy the deluxe season pass version. I just went with the standard game. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in checking this one out with the Stone Cold Steve Austin, I guess, showcase this year.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, especially since I've seen a couple of things that made me even more interested about that. One, they have his stunning Steve Austin appearance in the game.
Oh, really? From WCW? That's some deep cuts, as Kevin Smith would say on his podcast.
So yeah, it looks like they're going to go through his entire career.
That's actually really cool.
And also, as a playable character in the game, we have Brian Pillman. So I'm curious if they're going to put in the gun scene, if you remember.
Yeah, I remember that with Pillman. But yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. There's a lot of questionable stuff. Like, not questionable, but comparing it to today's standards for WWE, they're such a corporate family company now compared to before. That run was one of their biggest runs in history. So I actually saw the footage of, like, the model of The Rock from, like, the 90s, which looks really cool, and that famous scene where The Rock grabs the camera from the camera dude and gets stunned on top of the table. I was like, yes, they got this in the game. I need to play this. But it's really cool. I'm kind of turning around to the idea of him being the cover star. I was hot about it when they announced it, but I think it's cool. And then my computer dinged for whatever reason. I guess fries are done? I don't know.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the games of October, folks. Let us know down in the comments below what you're buying next month.
5 hours later.
So let's dive into the news. And Izzy, kick us off with some delay news.
So, the Hitman... I guess I don't know if we should call it a reboot or a neat take on the series, is being delayed to 2016, which I hadn't heard of. Actually, it was supposed to come out sometime this fall, either November or December, if I wasn't
December.
Yeah. So it's being delayed to March 2016. It was interesting how they were handling the launch of this game because I believe you like paid full price and then they would add contracts piece by piece, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even think it was like an actual physical release at first. It was just going to be digital and they'd piecemeal it out and then I guess they would put everything later on into one package. Um, but it's interesting. I haven't seen too much of this game that it's really caught my eye. I remember seeing the trailer, but it was a trailer at E3, right? When they had that big reveal that they were doing Hitman once again. But
Mm-hmm.
it's being delayed to March 2016 and bad move. Because there's this other little game that comes out that month. It's called Uncharted 4. I guess these companies don't learn. Like, this is so stupid. Don't put it in March. And I'm sure March is filled with a bunch of other games that people want to play.
Is it ever? Just before I can mention a few right now.
Okay.
We have Tom Clancy's The Division, scheduled for the 8th. Uncharted 4 on the 18th. Killer Instinct on the 24th.
Oh, season 3, yes.
And Street Fighter 5 is supposed to come out sometime that month as well.
Goodbye, Hitman. You've murdered your own career. Goodbye. Get out of here. Nobody cares. That was a really stupid move. Just delay it till summer by that point. I guess they want to get it in the fiscal year because you know how those companies work. They want to return on their investment within the fiscal year, which usually ends around March, April. That's stupid. Just delay it till summer. Get it out, or April, or something else. April, May. Just get it out the way. I'm gonna be consumed with Uncharted 4 and Street Fighter to even take a look at this game. To be honest.
Yeah. Bad move on them. They should, if they were going that route, just delay it till April.
Yeah, exactly.
But of course, they'd have Quantum Break and Dark Souls 3 to contend with.
That's right.
Next,
just give up. Just cancel it. Just cancel. Go to May or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rockstar is like Red Dead Redemption. May, and then everybody loses their mind.
Mm-hmm. All right, so moving on to our next news story. Dungeon Defenders 2 is coming to PlayStation 4 later this month, but before you get too excited, that isn't the reason why we included this story on the podcast this week. It's because this release will mark the first pre-alpha release on the PlayStation 4. That's right. The action tower defense game will initially release on the PlayStation 4 as pre-alpha. Unlike the PC version, the PlayStation 4 port will naturally feature controller support and also have a 2-player local co-op mode. If my computer unfreezes, there we go. But please note that Dungeon Defenders 2 is still under development, says marketing director Asher on the PlayStation blog. During this time, some features like local co-op and controller support will be ahead of the PC version. But other features and content will be rolling in after they are released. In the future, Dungeon Defenders 2 will be free, supported by ethical microtransactions. Pre-alpha access will immediately be available to anyone who purchases a currency bundle on PlayStation 4 on September 29th. So, interesting.
To be completely honest, I don't like this trend of these games and pre-alpha and beta and all these different states of development coming out on consoles. It's already become a huge thing on Steam Early Access. Mm-hmm. Xbox, I know they were talking about this pretty big also. Yep. PlayStation, not so much. I don't know how much coverage this has gotten, but it kind of slipped through the cracks because I hadn't really heard about this. I don't know if they made a big deal that this is the first like early access type of game to hit their platform.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm not completely sure.
Yeah, it's weird. At least it's going to be a free-to-play title. I mean, they say that it's going to be
Yeah,
free. You purchase as a currency bundle. Uh,
that's not too bad. So at
no.
least they're trying something, you know.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, hopefully we don't see too many games taking on this trend because unless they're free to play. If they're free to play, sure,
Yeah,
go
sure,
for it.
cool. Yeah,
If you're paid, no, no, thank you.
yeah. Like why not at that point?
Mm-hmm. All right, so Izzy, you've got some news on something VR related, don't you?
So the once Project Morpheus is now called the PlayStation VR. Very original.
We all saw it coming. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
let's be honest. It's simple. It works, right?
Mm-hmm.
The KISS strategy, keep it simple, stupid. But yeah, and some news has come out regarding a price point for the device. CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment, Andrew House, said that it's going to be priced as a new gaming platform. What that means exactly, we don't know. Are they talking about $200, $300, $400? Somewhere within that spectrum, I would guess, somewhere between $200 to $400 if it's a new gaming platform.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Still no release date, still no launch lineup. Kind of getting worried about this. It's crazy that it's now that they've picked a name.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm assuming this. We got a name at TGS. Maybe
Mhm.
we'll hear something else, probably for games to line up
Experience.
at no at
PlayStation's.
Paris Game Show. That's the
Hmm.
one I'm thinking. They'll show off games coming, and at PSX we'll probably get a release date and price for it.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. But we think about this. If it's gonna be, two, three, $400, it's gonna have a very, very small attach rate. But at the
Oh yeah,
same time, if it was too cheap, it'll be worthless, right? Because you
yeah,
need you need this really high end components to have this amazing experience. And from what I've heard, they've also increased like the refresh rate of the screens and all that.
mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm guessing $300 to $400 in that ballpark, right?
Yep.
In my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Depending on when it releases, like if we are getting it Q1 like they say there's probably going to be no way I'm buying on day one.
Yeah.
But if it's later in the year, probably save up some money, check into it, because I've been growing slowly more interested in VR. The more I hear about it, the more unique gaming experiences they show off for it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm getting more interested, but I can't see it being any cheaper than $299, to be quite honest. It's got to be, right?
Yeah. It it's so confusing to me because I don't know if this is going to end up like the Move
mm.
or
Well, they
can
appear to be using Move controllers for it. They got a warehouse full of them. They're like, hey, let's use
It's
these
like,
things
why
for
not?
VR.
Screw it. We got so many of these. Um, I'm
Like,
excited for this. I'm excited for the prospects of VR.
mm-hmm.
To be honest, I don't have a high-end PC, so I'm not going to be able to get an Oculus Rift, right, or a
Mm-hmm.
Valve or whatever, all
A
the different
Vive.
Vibe, there's so many out on the market right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cool that PlayStation has a closed ecosystem, so developers don't have to worry about scaling, right?
Yeah.
But in a few years, I don't know if they'll hit some sort of ceiling on which they will eventually. Let's just be honest, because
Mm-hmm.
of um, the guts of the PlayStation 4 and its processing power and all that.
Yeah.
But I am excited. I'm going to be completely honest. I'll probably be a day one for this. I'm going to be a complete sucker and pick this up on day one and play that game that Gorilla Cambridge is working on. I forgot the name of the game, but that multiplayer one.
The mech suit
Um,
one?
yeah, that one. I forgot the name of it, but that looks really interesting. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how many of these games are going to be actual full retail experiences, or they're going to be short little demos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's really interesting to see how they roll this out
Yeah.
because we don't really know if they're going to be more like little bite-sized experiences that you download on PlayStation Store for free or for a cheap price, maybe 10, 15, $20. If they're
Mm-hmm.
going to be $60 retail releases. Um, I really don't know, and I don't know if they're doing this too early. Maybe wait until the next console cycle. It just feels strange. Like this could end up just once again being another PlayStation move, but I guess they want to get out early,
Mm-hmm.
whereas they had the technology for PlayStation Move before the Nintendo Wii even came out, but they came out the door and they put everybody on notice, like with this revolution of motion gaming.
Yep.
So maybe they want to do this and get out there now
Mm-hmm. And
that all these other
they have
devices are going to be.
said
So
too that they've been working on this for quite some time. So
mhm. Yeah,
yeah.
probably around the PlayStation 3
Mm-hmm.
generation, I'm sure sometime.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, everything does look interesting, but I do share your same concerns, though. But we also did get news this week that Dead or Alive Extreme 3 may have a VR mode, so that'll be something.
Yeah, I wanna see how this turns out. I I really want. It'll be cool if they figure out some way to do like PlayStation. I'm trying to think of how to explain it, but a way that you could hop into different PlayStation-centric worlds,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not necessarily playing a game. Like think of, oh man, this just made me blew my mind just thinking about it. Think of you hopping into Journey
Mm-hmm.
in that world. That would be incredible. Or any of the different locations from the Uncharted franchise.
Yeah, exploring a temple or something.
Yeah, or like Shadow of the Colossus. Imagine playing that in VR. Like
Oh, God.
if they remade that for VR, that would be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's so many things they could do, and I don't know. I haven't seen that one thing that's really, really impressed me. I've seen some of their demos, like the thing that we're talking about with the mech suits, and then the heist one, and then the kitchen one that was horror themed. They
Mm-hmm.
look cool, but nothing that really, truly blew me away.
Yeah. Yep, it's going to be interesting. Uh, and to wrap up our news segment here, our final news story, man, which we already talked about in our games of the month, actually, so I don't know why I included it here afterwards. And that is Minecraft Story Mode begins October 13th on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3, according to the PlayStation blog. So yeah, if you visited TellTale at PAX Prime last month, you might have gotten a sneak peek at the Minecraft Story Mode. So yeah, it's releasing then. And it's going to be at retail as well, Tuesday, October 27th. So you'll be able to get the disc version, which they're calling a season pass disc.
Yeah, it's really strange how they're doing this.
It makes sense.
It makes sense, but it's weird because I know there's going to be some people that are confused. You
Yes.
know, that they get the disc and they're like, oh, I gotta wait. What happened? But,
Yep. But if you're going to do it with any game, like, I mean, they've done it with all of their games so far, releasing a physical release about like 6 months or a year after the game has been completed. But if you're going to release it like right away, Minecraft is the one to do it. Have that on the shelves for the holiday season. It's like, oh, Minecraft, buy that.
that's true. Yeah, that makes sense.
hmm
I would see why they would do that, to have it out for the holiday season. Now that I'm thinking more about this, yeah, it does make sense, yeah.
hmm So yeah, and they've got a lot of voice talent in this one as well, including the male Jesse that you can choose in the game. That's another aspect of this Telltale game, which is different from previous ones. Is you get to choose your character out of, I think, 5 or 6 different characters. And one of them is voiced by Patton Oswalt. And another one is voiced by Catherine Tamber, who's been in Star Wars The Clone Wars and Marvel Heroes. And they also have Brian Fosden, Ashley Johnson, Scott Porter, Maritha Pellman.
Oh, that's cool they got Ashley.
Mm-hmm. Dave Fennoy, Corey Feldman, Billy West, and Paul Rubens in the game.
They got Dave Fennoy. That's pretty cool.
Yep. No Nolan North or Troy Baker. That a game coming out with neither one of them into it. Amazing.
No, even the ones before that, like David Hayter, Steve Blum. None of those guys. That's pretty impressive.
Just wait. Nolan North is playing a creeper into the game. Just you wait. He will show up somehow. But yeah. That pretty much wraps up for our news segment. I don't think we need to go into it any more than that. So now it's time to move into our topic of the week.
An hour later.
Hot damn. Okay, so a report came out, which they have subsequently said is not true, but let's face it, is true because of this company, that Konami is ceasing AAA console game development. So, goodbye Metal Gear, goodbye Suikoden, goodbye Castlevania, goodbye Bomberman, goodbye Frogger. You're all going to be pachinko machines.
Hit the lever. Oh, man. Konami just... Right when you think they can't get any lower, they surprise you with something even stupider. Like,
yep. They've had 2 of the biggest releases of September, arguably the year with Metal Gear Solid 5, and they've had...
Pez
yeah,
2016, yeah.
Which apparently has gotten great reviews, except if you play the PC version and find out that it's the PS3, Xbox 360 port.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But they have like a Game of the Year contender, and yet they still manage to know how to be fucking Konami.
It's... Like, it's really sad. It's just, let me just say this. It's really sad that this is happening. Mm-hmm. But it's been a long time coming. With all the stuff that's happened with Kojima, with all the stuff that happened with PT, even before when they were outsourcing their games, like Castlevania, the Lords of Shadow series. The first one was good. Then it just kept getting worse as they did the 3DS, and then they did the sequel. Silent Hill has been outsourced to other developers ever since they disbanded Team Silent sometime in the early to mid 2000s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So it's kind of been a long time coming, and it's a shame because when you think of these series, let's just go down this list that you put here. Suikoden, right? Which not a huge franchise, but very near and dear to a lot of JRPG fans. Metal Gear Solid, amazing. Even Contra, super old school, great, couch co-op game. Silent Hill, fantastic survival horror. Castlevania, the great side-scrolling games. Zone of the Enders, which was, more of a obscure game, but still something very unique. Gradius, classic shmups. Bomberman, which is a super classic character from back in the day, which they own because they purchased Hudson Soft, right? And they just never did anything with them.
Yeah.
Konami, Dance Dance Revolution. That's iconic in terms of like the, rhythm-based games. Like you remember seeing this in the arcade back in the day. Even before that, in the arcade, they had Frogger, which is all-time classic. So these are all fantastic and unique games that came from Konami. This is not even including the golden age of beat-em-ups during the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis 16-bit era. Turtles in Time, Batman Returns. Like, these games are classic games that this company put out. And they just like, I don't know if they just, like, self-destructed. That's what it looks like.
I've actually pulled up another list here. There's a lot here, but I will read through a few of them. Going right back, let's see, on the 3DO in 1995, Police Knots.
Oh,
Going to the 1990 to
Snatcher.
1993, Castlevania, Super Contra, Predator 2, Plan 9 from Outer Space, Frontier Elite 2. Going back to the arcade, as you mentioned, we've got Block Game, Spaceship, Block Invader, Space King 2, Missile X, The End, Frogger, Scrabble, Strategy X, Super Cobra, Turtles, Ultra Dome. Let's see.
Just
Let's
think
get
about the Konami code. Just think of that.
Yeah.
Like, that's just an iconic thing. Like, it's just gone down the drain. Like, it's just so disappointing that this company has gone the direction it has. Like I said earlier, it's been a long time coming. To me, they should just sell off their IPs and be done with it. Like, if they really want to get out of the AAA market, just get rid of everything. But they're going to try to milk it on the mobile market. We're going to see Metal Gear on the Android and iOS marketplaces, which we have. They did Metal Gear Touch a few years ago, and it was a pretty decent game. I played it myself. But at the time, we still had Metal Gear Solid 4. So we had this massive, over-the-top, epic experience on consoles, and then we had this short and fun thing on the mobile platforms, and it's just like, what?
Yep.
What is going on?
I just found their Famicom NES lineup here. Track and Field.
Wow,
The
really?
Goonies. Goonies 2. King Kong 2. Oh, Castlevania 2. Simon's Quest. Dragon Scroll. Exciting Baseball. The original Metal Gear. Blades of Steel. They did Blades of Steel. Skate
Really?
or Die.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they did Skate or Die. The Adventures of Bayou Billy. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as you mentioned. Cosmic Wars. Top Gun, The Second Mission. Snake's Revenge. Mission Impossible. There's so many here. The Lone Ranger. Base Wars. Tiny Toon Adventures.
Oh, man, it's
Bucky
so crazy.
O'Hare.
It's so disappointing. Like, and I know the question you have here is like, are we saying goodbye to these franchises for now? I think we're saying goodbye for what we knew them as. I think moving forward, they're going to be just mobile experiences, pachinko machines. They've already started. Like, I feel bad.
Erotic violence.
I was just thinking about this. Just think of being somebody who grew up with these games, and you're like, man, Konami is a company I want to work for. And then you ended up working for them, and you realize how crappy their policies are and what they really are as a business. And it's just disappointing. Like, I was thinking of that as somebody who works, like, for a big company and who works retail. Just being somebody who works for a company, like, just anybody. Like, everybody works for some company, right? For some business, for something. And just being in those shoes of being on the ground level, right? And being like the PR person who had to spin it and put it out there. No, we're not ceasing productions of AAA games or whatever, right? It's like, that's sad. Like, just think of that. Like, the dude who had to put that out there, like, he must feel like crap because he knows it's BS. Like, it's just crazy. And we were talking about Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain earlier. Like, that's the last true Metal Gear game as far as I'm concerned.
Probably the last true Konami game we'll ever have.
Exactly, because after this, like, goodbye, sayonara, never see you again, because I bought Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain because it's a special game. One, because this is Kojima's, like, swan song to the series. Another, like, it's like the last true Metal Gear game. To support him, even if I'm supporting Konami financially, which, you know, and I ended up buying the collector's edition. I've bought, several pieces of clothing based on the Phantom Pain. So it's mixed emotions. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm supporting them financially. Like I just cannot. That's a whole other discussion, but it really sucks that this company has gone down the drain essentially.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really, really disappointing, especially like within the last year or so when we thought we were getting that Silent Hill reboot
Mm-hmm.
PT, which was the first time in years that people were
Genuinely
ecstatic,
excited for Silent
ecstatic
Hills.
and excited for the Silent Hill franchise, and they just down the drain. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's so, oh man,
Yep,
it's really, really disappointing.
it is. And as a JRPG fan, like seeing Sudoku on that list, like that one especially breaks my heart right there because that series was so good, like
Mm.
so good, and just to see it like go away, it's hurtful. And for most of these on this list, it's like you gotta hope that they start selling off their franchises just so somebody else can pick it up. Even as a PlayStation fan, I would be ecstatic if Microsoft bought the Sudoku franchise.
Yeah,
Like at least
if
somebody would
just
be
give it to
working on
somebody
that.
else. Like even if like Nintendo came around and bought like Castlevania or Contra or whatever,
Yeah,
like go ahead. You're gonna do a
yeah,
better job than anything that Konami's doing at this point. Any company could come in right now,
yeah.
and Activision could come in. EA
Yeah.
could come in and purchase any of these franchises, and I'd be cool with it
Yep.
because they'll do a better job than what Konami will do.
Mhm.
Like it just doesn't stop. It like we were talking about this earlier. We were talking about the latest Jimquisition. Like I didn't know all that stuff about Pez on the PC being the PS3 360 version and how they were tricking people by bundling the game with itself so you couldn't see any of their review scores. Like,
Mhm.
oh man, it's just so frustrating and how they're treating Metal Gear. Now we know that Metal Gear Solid the Phantom Pain isn't what it could have been. It is missing the last episode. Like that's why I've read and watched a lot of reviews and a lot of people say that it ends kind of abruptly, the second ending after episode 1 and 2. Um, so it seems like it was supposed to be larger and more ambitious, but I think you could see that's when the split between Kojima and Konami happened, that he really couldn't finish the game like he wanted. Luckily, the game ended up being fantastic regardless.
Mhm.
But even then, it kind of leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth of what Metal Gear, the Phantom Pain could have been even more
Mhm.
than what it was.
Yep. All right. Well, but I
Yeah,
think we could go
'Cause
on for a while
we're just
because
spinning our wheels now that they just suck.
it's just so sad. Quite a way to end the podcast, that's for sure. All right, so questions and comments. Naturally, we have no questions and comments. Don't even think there was a comment on the last. No, there wasn't. Last podcast did get 24 views though, so thank you folks for that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And yeah, that's basically gonna do it for this show. We've gone for I think a reasonable time again. So
Yeah,
Izzy,
not bad.
why don't you take us away before we cry a bit more about Konami?
All right, so outro here. I guess a little bit of plugs for both of us. You already know Lord X's channel because you're on his channel right now. So my channel is youtube.com/IsraelPacheco89. Sure, Lord X will leave a link somewhere down below or on the screen or wherever it could be.
It's always in the description.
All right, so yeah, that's my channel. I've been kind of on sort of a hiatus recently. The last video I put up was a Brothers Play, which is the Let's Play series with my little brother. We played through a little bit of Parappa the Rapper on the original PlayStation. That was really fun because that's one of our favorite games for the PlayStation. This is really cheesy, a really
Mhm.
goofy but awesome 90s game. And yeah, that's about it for me for the time being. Within the next week or so, I will be releasing my top 5 PlayStation exclusives of all time across all PlayStation platforms. Which spoilers, mainly going to be a lot of PlayStation 3 stuff, which people are going
Uncharted 1,
to
Uncharted 2,
Uncharted
Uncharted
3,
3, The
Uncharted
Last of
Collection.
Us.
Everybody knows my list already. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of PS3 stuff, which I know I'm gonna get. Hey, where's Final Fantasy 7? Where's Metal Gear Solid? Like, I'm already expecting all those. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to diving in and writing my script. And I'm I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do right now. If it's just gonna be just all audio, me, but like behind the mic with some gameplay footage, or if I'm gonna intercut some videos of me just talking about a game briefly, doing a little introduction. So not 100% sure, but that is my main focus right now. Top 5 PlayStation exclusives of all time. You can go back and watch my other stuff that I've done this month, like a game room tour, which is now out of date because I changed my room again. And I also did the Brothers Play, like I said. We did the Gamer Culture episode of Why We Love PlayStation, which was great. Last one we did. So yeah, that's it for me. I guess we could wrap up the show here. This has been the Glitch Style Gaming Podcast, episode 15. For Lord X, I am Israel Pacheco 89, and we are glitching out. See you guys later.
Hit the lever!